See if that's gonna work. Huh. I guess that did work. Okay, we're gonna start just a hair early, folks. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. I hope you guys are having a good, what is it, Tuesday? It's only Tuesday. It's Tuesday evening, people. And yeah, we're gonna do just a little bit of painting, and then we're gonna get down to the week 3 recap. So hope you guys are having a good evening, and we're gonna get down to it. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm working on right now, though. Fried Mishima. We're working on Frank the plant, and my son, my 3-year-old, is awake upstairs, wrecking the entire house. So we'll see. We'll just see how that goes. What's up, Sean? Hey, looks like Victoria Britannica could not quite make it to the stream. That's unfortunate, Victoria, but we'll catch you on the replay when you watch it then. David Moffat, hoping his kids are asleep. Also cool. But yeah, we're working on Frank the plant. He's got there's a lot of items on Frank. He's got a lot going on. And then we got the main event. Oh wait. But I should also point out that we did some work on Harley Quinn. I don't know how she looks really pale on my screen. I mean, not pale. I mean, she should look pale. She's Harley Quinn. She looks washed out on my screen. I don't know how she looks decent on your screen or not. But yeah, that's Harley Quinn. You can see based on the base there, she hasn't been sealed yet. So, but yeah, we're looking at Harley Quinn, and then yeah, the main event is really my girl here. You know her as Poison Ivy. Such a great sculpt, man. Such a great sculpt. And I want to I'm going to do a little bit of work on Miss Ivy. Miss Ivy, if you're nasty. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm going to add a little bit of very, very light highlight here to this greenish skin tone I'm rocking for Ivy. And like I said, these models are very, very busy. They're very intense models. So that's why I like basically kicked through those 7 models the night before, so I could get to these models and really just, concentrate on doing a good job on these models, because they demand it. They demand it with how intricate they are. So why don't you guys go ahead and let us know what you're working on, and then if you haven't done so yet, drop some photos in the week 3 pictures of either the Play It Painted Discord or the Warboss Tae Discord. You have a few minutes. You have a few minutes to get those in before we get in there and review them. So I would get on that if I were you. If you want to have us check out your latest stuff, and I'm all about that. I like to look at all of the latest and greatest. Please go ahead and do that. Put your stuff in the Discord. I feel like I'm just losing a little bit of clarity on the white eyes. I like lost it a little bit. I know you guys can't see much of that right now, but there are very teeny tiny little white eyes in there. Man, we'll see how we do with this stream. Hey, what's up, Alaric Harrison? Working on your Warhammer Chaos Dwarves. Very nice, my friend. Yeah, we are just trying to get Ivy in a good spot here. Not going to be too much painting tonight because of the this is the kind of the weekly recap show. So always make sure on the weekly recap, I'm working on something, it's like just like one, maybe two models during the show. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Great mini. I agree, sir. This is a fantastic mini. This is a really nice mini. And she deserves a lot of attention here. Now, this is a commission, obviously, for Chris. Let me just confess something to you guys, okay? This sculpt is freaking amazing, all right? And I've painted a lot of the Ivy sculpts throughout the iterations of Batman. And the one thing that always got me is if you look at this sculpt, right? You've got this great bloom, this great blossom here that has her sitting in the middle of it. And it's very majestic and it's very cool. Now it's definitely the sculpt or the art, we'll say, the art that the sculpt is based on is designed to highlight or really put Ivy in the centerpiece of this. Like she's the center part of the blossom. She's the showstopper here, essentially, right? And my issue is this: because Ivy's skin is such a pale green, it's almost, from a color standpoint, it's almost anticlimactic to have green, purple, pink, and then green again. Oh, waiting for, hold on. I gotta let Warboss in. He's waiting to join. He's on iPhone. And I just think that there needs to be, I would go with more vibrant skin tones personally, just to call it out a little bit more. So anyways, it looks like our co-host is joining for tonight.
What's up?
Hey, what's up? What's it going, Warboss?
Burst through the wall. What up, players?
I heard a little wash water swirl there. You doing some painting, sir?
I am making some tea, and then I'm making my way over to the painting table. It's actually just going to be a build night for me.
So that swirl, the swirl was tea.
Yes.
Okay.
Hot water going into a teacup.
Well, that's cool. So you're doing a build night. Awesome.
Yeah, it's a build night for me.
Cool. Well, I don't know if you could see my screen right now, but we are working on Poison Ivy.
Oh, she looks great.
From Batman. So this is a big old composite model here, and we got Fade Me Seymour. We got
hey,
Frank here. Yeah, the Audrey here.
Yeah. Man, that looks just like it. That's a Batman figure?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This is no accident that they made it look
I was
Audrey
like,
too.
Seems like they just full on just ripped off that design.
Yeah. I don't think
it's cool. It's so cool, man. You really did you did it justice.
Oh, thanks. Well, we're still working on him or her. Well, they call it Frank in the game in Batman,
Frank,
just so that they don't get sued. But we know this is Audrey too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
I know my musicals, man.
Right. So yeah, this is what we're working on tonight. We're working on some Batman stuff, and then when you're settled in, we'll sit down and have a look at the week 3 updates from the Discord.
All right, right on.
So let's see. Alaric Harrison says, I also got some really cool Chaos Dwarves from a Russian miniature company called Russian Alternative. I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about that on stream? That's a little, I don't know. That's a controversial topic there.
They're using third-party miniatures?
Well, not necessarily third-party miniatures, and I don't know if this is true, Alaric, but the recast market. That's the that's
recast
the
market.
sketchy part. I mean, I'm down with third-party miniatures for stuff. I think that's cool when companies make, they make original sculpts, and it's like, use this for a Blood Bowl team, or use this for a Guild Ball team or something. I don't know. I'm picking all sports games, but you could. That's kind of fun. The one thing that I'm always leery of is oh, we copied this dreadnought model, and it's just a straight up, it's just a straight up copy. That's what that's what we try to steer clear of. But yeah, maybe Russian Alternative is not a recast company, in which case very cool. But anyways, no judgment. We're just gonna get back to painting, I guess. So cool. Busy week for you, sir. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You do anything cool for your birthday?
What do? We had the family over. We fired up the barbecue grill. We had some steaks. We relaxed. I was able to get in a couple minutes of hobby time, but yeah, it was mostly just a relaxing weekend for me.
Okay, but when you say you had the barbecue, I immediately went to the roast pig in the pit.
Oh no,
we didn't do that.
Wish. Oh, that's if we were in Hawaii, maybe we had our whole our whole family around and we could do the Kahlua pig proper. But
man.
Yeah, we're just doing the wood pellet grill, and we had family over. We just did some steaks, and yeah, it was real chill. It was a nice change of pace for us. We've been so busy unpacking this house, and like we still got mountains of boxes to go through. So being able to just relax, and I got a chance to work like on my hobby area, figure out where I'm going to move some things. And yeah, I realized I have a light over my painting area, and I kind of wanted to move my stuff into the corner so I could line the walls with things. But if I move more towards the center, I'll be directly under the light. I could set up a nice tripod right over me, so the light is shining right on whatever I'm working on. And then I could use the corner for recording and editing and video stuff, and it'll be more organized that way.
That sounds awesome. Man, I actually did some cleaning here in my hobby room, mainly because it was a trashy mess. But
it's amazing how we just kind of ignore how cluttered and messy it gets, and then when you force yourself to clean or organize or kind of figure out if you want to change some things. Like my lady boss is so into just the look of a space, and so we'll settle on, okay, maybe the hobby space should look like this for a little while. Or like, for example, like she thinks like with furniture in the living room or in any area, like it'll be okay for a while, but then all of a sudden she'll say something like, the light is coming out better this way, we should move some things around. And then we do, and it's amazing. Like it feels like so much hard work to clean everything and put everything away and have to reorganize your entire space. But just having a fresh perspective at what you're doing is often really helpful.
Yeah, and just like cleaning, like down here, cleaning the room is like cleaning my brain, because all of those, like, especially, well, we'll go over the big highlight for me this week, which allowed me to do the cleaning in here. But yeah, just cleaning your room, being able to clean your hobby room. My hobby table, totally different story. Still the chaos from what I just finished, but
right.
But just being able to clean this space, I'm hoping that we ended up cleaning. There's a little miniature patio outside of this hobby room, and it's this room. This room was designed to stream gaming and painting, which is my favorite thing in the whole world. It was one of the reasons why we bought this house. I was like, I could stream and paint and game all in this room. Be a big old command center.
Man.
So the idea is, with social distancing and all that,
Sure.
that I could set up. I could set up a gaming table outside, like right outside the door. Still be able to use my Wi-Fi for streaming. Be able to use the lights, and all my terrain and everything is just right there.
All right. Yeah.
So I know Sean and Nelson, you guys are in the chat. We're firing it back up. I know Nelson we used to come over here and game and stream games from here. So the Bat Cave is coming back, Nelson. Get ready. We're doing it. Okay, so Alaric says, no, they are all original artwork, custom. They're awesome. That's great, man. That is awesome. I do like some of the,
I'm all for it.
Some of those third-party producers that make some really awesome stuff.
Yeah, I mentioned this on one of my live streams. I was before I kind of took my break from the hobby. I was lucky enough to be contacted by Cybor for reviewing and taking a look at some of their miniatures that they sent me. And I was like, okay, I have no idea what they're going to send me, but they sent over like 5 clamshell single packs and just random things. There's no real unifying theme to any of it, but they're really cool. And I want to really be able to take a look at it, but I don't want to do it unless I can do it justice, maybe give them a paint job and everything. So, but yeah, I definitely am looking forward to those videos.
That's cool. Yeah, I have a similar thing going on with a smaller kind of independent company called Revelations War, and they're doing a Kickstarter that's going to launch next month. And I just put together, the miniatures that they want to use for their starter kit. So I'll be reviewing that soon and the game. It's not, I usually don't play, the really small scales. Like this is like a 10 millimeter scale. So think like the old Warhammer 40K Epic, or maybe Drop Zone Commander, something like that. I usually don't play those scales because I like faces and eyeballs and that kind of stuff. I want to be able to see that on the pieces, but yeah, it's a cool looking company, and we'll give that a look probably later on. It might be able to get those finished before the challenge proper is over.
I'm excited to see that. I was kind of hesitant to even consider collecting anything smaller than what I'm doing, and then Ringo Simpkins a couple years back sent me a bunch of Byzantine 6mm guys, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? I have no idea how to paint them, and they're so different. But I think having something that's so different than what you're used to really fires up your creativity and lets you approach it as like a whole new thing, and you develop a system for doing it. You're not just following, oh, this is how I normally paint my miniatures, so this is how I'm going to approach these 6mm ones. You really have to think, well, what is going to stand out? What colors do I need to really bring up, and which can I, like, how many steps can I cut out? I didn't realize this. When you paint 6mm, you don't have to do like a second highlight or even a first highlight. A lot of stuff can just be base color and wash, and then if anything, you pick out the most prominent colors, but they're so small, and when you look at them from away from the table, it's like you really don't see that much.
Right. And the other interesting thing too is, because this is a startup, they don't even really have set color schemes or anything. So it's just
you're kind of blazing the trail for this game.
Yeah, it's just sort of whatever we put on these miniatures, and they may be using it for some of their some of their promo stuff is whatever colors we throw on them. So we'll see.
Oh man, that's really cool. You're right at the forefront of this thing.
Yeah, there's some really fun like smaller companies that put together some very fun games, and it's good to kind of see that. I like seeing that more and more because it's people really pushing their creativity, trying to introduce something new to the market. So
yeah,
cool. All right, are we all settled in? Are we ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Or should we do more painting first? Okay, let's fire up the Discord here.
I cannot get over that Frank character, man. He's great.
I'll just leave Frank on here. Frank will just sit. He'll just sit here. You can look at him while we're. Let me figure out how I do this. I think I'm gonna have to. So I may not see chat for a minute, folks, while we're doing this. But let's go ahead and share screen. Okay, so we're gonna share the Discord here. That is not what we meant to share, is it? I'm doing something wrong. What? No. Oh, there we go. Actually, we are looking at the Discord. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. If you can't see the Discord on the stream, actually they can see it. Okay, cool. All right. So we'll start over at the Play It Painted Discord because there are fewer updates over there. And we'll move on to here. So this is the week 3 pictures. I'm gonna scroll all the way back. Can you see my screen?
Yes. I kind of wish the Discord had a jump to top button.
Yeah. What is going on? Okay. Anyways, whoa. So I'll go to week 3 and we'll scroll all the way back. Starting with week 3, this is Mythic Battles Pantheon. This is the day that I did all the snacks. So we have
my lady boss said that those 2 at the bottom are like her favorite of anything I've shown her that you painted. She said that those really look real. They look amazing.
Okay.
So kudos. Yeah, kudos.
Oh, thanks.
Friend.
That's
my
interesting.
Lady boss she's like they look real. I like how they look like actual like art pieces or like realistic coloring on the snakes. They don't look too vibrant and yeah, they actually look like authentic colors that you would find on reptiles.
Cool. Well, thank you. That's a nice compliment. Yeah, not the fire juggling nausea. There's not realistic.
with the purple.
Yeah. And then this was we stopped to do a little Star Wars commission here. So Star Wars Legion, you got a little Padme. I don't remember the names of all these characters, but Padme I remember. And this is oh shoot. See, Darth Torlin's gonna get mad because I know he loves this character down here.
Oh, Space Cowboy.
The bottom left. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like a
something Cade. Something Bane. Cad Bane is his name. There, I got it. All right, you happy, Darth Torlin? Okay, I got it right. Points for me. And then you've got 2 of the characters from Rogue One. So you got K2SO, and you have what's his name? You know.
Diego Luna.
Diego Luna. Yes, that's his. Yes. This was really challenging, actually, the K2SO, because when I looked at the reference art for K2SO, they have his lighting. It basically is so different that I don't know what his true color actually is. A lot of times he just looks iron. Sometimes he looks red. Sometimes he looks gold. And a lot of times he looks kind of bluish, and so I kind of went with that. But that was interesting. I was hoping Gorthmore could join us here, but he has just murdered his Saga project.
Yeah, I saw every single update coming up. He really took the paint to those models. They look really nice.
So the decals came in, the shield transfers came in, and he was ready for that. Man, I don't even know what to say. This is just such a cool looking force.
Yeah.
There were a couple of guys over in Dicey's stream, I think, that saw these, and they were talking about potentially jumping into Saga. I was like, oh man, we should play Saga. If for you guys who have never played Saga, and maybe you're playing a sci-fi or fantasy war game, don't be intimidated, but with the notion that this is a historical war game, it's really kind of not, guys. It's it sits very much on the fence there because of the game mechanics are a lot like well, I can't even say that, but the game mechanics are less regimental from a typical historical war game, and they're a lot more. The mechanics feel a lot more modern, and they're very interesting. So strongly recommend this game if you are going to play. If you want to play something with Vikings, they also have versions of this game that have. Like you could play the Crusades, so you could play like a Saracen force, you could play Crusaders, you could play Templars, and then the latest one was Pendragon theme, so you could play like King Arthur, like Arthurian knights. And
yeah,
nice. But yeah, strongly recommend Saga. As you can see, if you play Gorthmorg here, he's going to have an amazing looking Viking army that looks like it's going to wreck you pretty hard.
They look great.
He has because he's got a strong Hearthguard up here up front, and it looks like 2 squads of warriors. Like that's a typical Viking 4-point army for Saga, and very, very top heavy. Got it there with the box, so the product placement even. Wow. we gotta cover that. Okay, so Blade Wolf here is working on. He just got this set, and I've been infecting people with the Batman bug. If you haven't been paying attention, really getting into Batman 3rd edition, and I showed Blade Wolf how to play a couple of weeks ago, and he borrowed my Court of Owls team, and he liked them so much that he went out and bought his own Court of Owls box set. So nice. This is one of the pieces there. This is the Gotham Butcher. Are you familiar with Court of Owls or much of the Batman universe?
Not too much. I am a little bit. Like I hear it and I kind of recognize it, but I'm not really steeped in the lore.
Ah, okay. Well, Court of Owls is really interesting because they're like this. They're basically this secret elite society that's been running Gotham for centuries, and they have this way of sort of zombifying extraordinary athletic people and then reviving them to be what they call talent. So they'll like deep freeze somebody and who was an acrobat or some kind of great athlete or something, and then when they revive them, they're fairly mindless and they can use them as assassins and that kind of thing. I like the if you look at the gold here, that's what's really standing out to me.
Yeah.
And the Court of Owls tend to have really drab colors like browns and grays, and so Blade Wolf got that down, but he really pronounced the gold there. I think that it's really nice contrast.
Yeah. Good work.
Good work, sir. Okay. This is my favorite update this week. There are 123 miniatures sort of in this photo. I tried to stick them all, block everything in.
That's amazing. Oh man.
But man, yeah, it's
wow.
I getting to put it away and all in one go like that was just that's just the feeling, right? It's
that's the feeling. That's the height. As a painter who plays the games, like that feeling of putting the last model down and knowing that it's all complete, every angle. It's the best feeling in the world. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
Amazing. Yep. Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
To be able to now the next step is when I break that out in either in the hobby store or wherever, it's like, ooh, his whole set is painted, right?
Yeah. You're gonna plant that bug in other people now, and they're gonna be like, look how amazing it is.
Yeah,
have a fully painted set. Yeah,
it's really cool. So those are the two main boxes. There's still believe it or not, there's still parts of that Kickstarter that I have to go through and paint. But yeah, this is for all intents and purposes, that's that was the project, and so we are just putting it away was awesome.
Yeah.
Here's the last couple of sets here. I don't think I even published much of this. This wasn't that notable. It's just a bunch of wolves. And there's a griffin, which was cool.
Yeah, we took a look at that. We like the colors you've got on that griffin.
Oh,
it looks a lot
thanks.
like a little bit like the high elf griffin. Like I like the realistic kind of drab tones to it, and then the way the blending makes it all kind of tied together. I like the beak.
I was just
the beak
going
is
for
in
pretty
a
standard.
bright. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was realistic. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, so we got a griffin in there. We got this guy here in the middle. I was calling him Owen Wilson because he just looks like Owen Wilson to me. So Owen Wilson, and then this is Cersei, I believe. And then the dog's up top. But yet I don't even know what this creature is. I've been calling him Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig.
Because that's what it reminds me of. So we got that, and then this was the final 6, and these were all just very fun things at the very end here. I did a stream using Aphrodite there in the top left.
Yeah, she's great.
Which was it was a skin tutorial because I'd been promising, okay, I'll do a skin tutorial, and she was the perfect model to do that with. She was my favorite sculpt in the whole thing. So she, it made sense that she was the last piece I would do. And a lot of fun there. Bellerophon also very fun too. And then you have that weird Medusa / demonette / scorpion.
Oh,
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like that was not over the top enough for some one of the sculptors. All right, so then let's see. We got an update from Dicey Guy and his Warcry crew, and it looks like he got he's got a lot of the major basing done.
Yeah.
On those pieces there. I've been jumping on his stream every chance I get just to watch some of this update. What do you think of your likeness here on the
hey, every time
there?
I see him getting a little bit more work done, I think, yeah, that's a handsome orc.
He's talking about getting some lamb chop sideburns for
my goodness. Yeah, looks great. That's another thing. Like, if I'm lagging in my my drive, my motivation starts petering out. If I do a little bit of base work, that really brings me back into focus because it no longer seems like I'm just working on the color scheme for the model. It makes it look like the whole picture. When you add like the little bit of flocking and you start putting the paint, then it's like, okay, your eye is starting to see it as almost a completed piece rather than just focusing on colors on the model that you're working on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it's like you're framing the miniature. And then when you paint that last little black strip around the base or whatever,
that's
really
always the last
frames.
thing I do.
Yeah, that really frames the miniature, and then suddenly like the whole thing pops. You're like, oh, that's what I was working on.
Yep.
So yeah, totally agree. That's a good bit of advice for folks because a lot of folks, you may be painting a miniature that you haven't based yet, and you're starting to just lose a little inspiration. Jump into the basing because I agree. That's good advice there. Awesome. I don't know. Any other comments? We got obviously the panda is super cool.
Yep, he looks great. The more color you put on, the more that black and white panda head really stands out. So it's inspired madness, Dicey Guy. Inspired madness.
Yeah, this is that whole crew is super fun. So look,
Yeah.
and I believe, well, we'll see. I think I don't know if it's on, maybe he posted it on this Discord or maybe yours. He actually took them out for a spin. So he took this
Oh, no kidding.
crew out for a little game of Warcry, which is super cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So after Mythic Battles, for me, I moved over to more to Batman, because again, that's what I'm playing right now. And this is a Birds of Prey crew, which is, they did that. They had that movie out last year, but this also includes some of the comic characters that may not have made it to the movie. So you've got Oracle here in the top left, Katana, which I had. This miniature is so awesome, but I could not find the best way to photograph it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I have to figure that out. I am getting my own katana because I love this sculpt so much. It's like, just get me one too, because I love that. And then, from the movie here, you have Black Canary. So you'll see, like, some of the ones that are in street clothes, those are actually just from the live action movie. So
yeah.
So Black Canary up here. This is Cassandra Cain. You got Renee Montoya. You got Huntress, and then you've got Bruce, the hyena there.
Right.
It's these sculpts the live action sculpts are very interesting because they're very simple in terms of, okay, they're just wearing civilian clothes because they're actual actors. But they're almost way harder because you don't have these exaggerated features and that kind of stuff that you can really embellish and make look good. Subtlety is more important on a lot of these models. You can see their color schemes tend to be kind of drab.
Right.
So these are tough. They're super fun though. If you look, like, one of my favorite things here, if you look at Cassandra Cain, if you look at her legs there, just working on different blending to try to get that to look as natural as possible.
Right.
It's stuff like that you're like, okay, this is a super realistic set. I want to work in a more realistic painting style than I might be doing on the comic book stuff. So
yeah, they look great.
Thank you. All right, and then okay, more Blade Wolf here. This is Lincoln March from the Court of Owls. This is like one of the coolest sculpts in that whole set. Pretty simple color scheme with just black and white. I don't know. Do you have problems with when you're working with schemes that are the color schemes are very contrasting like that?
Yeah, I find that the best way to go is usually to think of the way the light reflects, and then to either deepen the shadows, like in the case with the white, or kind of color shift the tone. So instead of going with like a cold blue white, if I'm going with a black that is more velvety that I can use blue highlights on. So I would use like a dark blue for the black highlights, and then for the whites, I would go with like a very, very subtle glaze of blue to shade the white. But if I wanted to go with more of a dusky bone color, then the white would be closer to ivory, and then I would highlight up to white. But then the lower parts of that, which are more in the shadow, would be a little bit closer to like a beige or bone color. And then when I'm highlighting the black, I would use brownish grays to highlight the black. So it would give it a more gritty street look rather than what I would think would be more. If I went with blues, highlighting the black with really dark blues and then highlighting the white, or shading the white rather, with blue glazes, then I think that would fit more of the like it would look more like a graphic novel. I like in my head I'm thinking of like, oh, that's like Punisher, or like a lot of the old comics where I think of characters who wear just black, a lot of black. It's like the blue highlights really pop out in my head.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But I think what he did is like, I can't really see it too much, but it looks like he's working some on the shadow with the shoulder and the Like it looks like he's got like
Yeah.
a good sense of where the light is coming from and where he needs to build the shadows.
Sure. Yeah. He's pointing out that it is a work in progress. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool, Sean. Yeah. I think it looks good.
Yep.
What I was going to ask is, if you're, what's your strategy when you're working on a model that's like black and white like this? Do you prime black and then build up the white? Do you prime the whole thing white, build up the white first, and then fill in the rest black? How would you approach something like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think if you're working on a model that's basically two contrasting colors, like the black and white, I would find what is the more prominent color. Like with this one, it looks like the black is more, there's more surface area covered by the black. So I would prime black and then I would pick out the white details, because when you're working the white, you could start from like a darker blue color and then build it up so you could see where the highlights come in, and then you can leave the shadows that dark blue. Or if you're going with the dusky brown, I would start with like a sand colored brown, and then as I'm working it up, I would know where the white where the light is hitting. That's where I'm going to build up my whites. And then if it looks like it's too bright, then the whites are popping too much or it's looking too messy, then you just go back down a couple of steps down that color ladder, and then you shape what the image is by touching up in the darker colors. That's why I think painting is so much fun, because you're building up the image from the darker colors to the light colors when you're highlighting. So you're really guiding the person's eye to see the design that you've built on the model. If you ever have trouble and it looks like your model looks too splotchy or too messy, and like you're painting, yeah, or like I have this trouble with eyes a lot. Sometimes like the whites of my character's eyes are too bulging. Then I realize, oh, all you have to do is go back with a little bit of black paint and then make like it's going to look like you've got raccoon eyes or really heavy eyeliner. And then just take your skin color and then paint in that black area so that you can tighten up your eyes, and then it makes your features look a lot more precise rather than really glopped on and messy.
Sure. So you shape the eyes. You make a big black area around the eyes, and then you use that base skin tone to shape them down.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
And then a lot of people think, oh, once you paint it, you give it your first try. If it gets everywhere, then you can't fix it. But the whole point of the whole purpose of getting better as a painter, I think, is you're not making it so that you can be more precise with the first go. As a painter, you want to grow so that you can keep making those mistakes and keep being messy if you need to be. And then when you go in the second or the third time, you're cleaning up that eye, you're putting a little bit more of that skin tone closer to where the eyeball actually is, so that when you push the model away, you hid your mistakes. You covered up your mistakes by repainting the area around the part that you had trouble with. Like a lot of people have a hard time with eyes because they think, oh, my hand shakes, or I put too much white on, and then it just looks really, really silly and really unrealistic. But I'm using eyes as an example because I like this color scheme with all of the fine ribbing and the different areas of the white. Like if he painted, or if anybody paints on too much white area, it bleeds over into the black areas, and they think like, I'm a terrible painter and I just got to leave it like that. No, go back with the black paint and clean up the lines, guide the person's eyeballs to look at the model the way you want the image to appear. And then once you figure out what that picture is, it makes it so much easier to clean up and touch up. Like I say, painting is 80% touching up. 20% of your work is just the base work, and then 80% of the time you're fixing details, you're shaping the areas, you're fixing the highlights so that the model looks the way you want it to in your head.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and you're it's like, it's almost like you're sculpting the clarity in with your paint. Right.
I was just thinking that's a perfect analogy, like a sculptor who takes like a block of marble, right? He doesn't just go at it one time and make one pass. He
just cuts one perfect shape. Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't
do that. Right.
Like they go back in and then they shape, and if something looks like it's still not working, then they'll reshape and keep shaping and keep guiding and keep creating new surfaces. And as painters, we already have our pieces in front of us. Like the shape of what we're painting is never going to change, but what we can control is where the viewer's eyes go and how the highlights look. If you're having a hard time painting the eyes, then just use a lot of washes and then make it look like there's like shadows in the eyes. Or if you're having a hard time with highlighting skin, then paint the skin and focus on instead of where the highlights are in the muscles or in the musculature, work on the shading and the depths and the shadows. Like as painters, we can always continue to build our skill set, and if we're not good at something, we can fool the person looking at our models into seeing something that we want them to see.
Cool. Nice. Yeah. Sean is saying it is good advice. So thank you for that. That was awesome.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Sean. I think it's so brave for anybody on Discord to be sharing their work. You know, work in progress is like, it's hard because you don't want to be like slammed for your work in progress, and at the same time you still want good feedback and good advice to help you get better at what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty lucky that, you know, in our community specifically, to have so many painters but you know, in general, extremely positive people that are trying their best to get better at what they do, and then also willing to help, you know, other folks get better at painting as well.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know. Let me check real quick if there's any other things to share. Oh, yeah. There is. Okay. Let me see. Let's go over. I think okay, that's where we were last week. Yeah. Gorthmark worked on he was working on this other commission. I think we saw that. Okay, so this user here, Falstaff, he's got his own little, I guess, his own little company called Fantasy World Games, and he's doing 3D printing of models. And so he's doing hobby sort of during the challenge, and so he's making these sculpts and then sends them over to me, and I've been painting them and giving some out as well. So he's working on so he's working on a custom Guild Ball team right now, and they're like a beach themed team. And this character here, she's actually down here in the bottom right. Her name is Windfinder. She's part of the Navigators Guild, and they're very nautical. They're a very beach themed guild to begin with, so it makes a lot of sense. Right. Working on you know, so that's like where he's starting with the model, and then he's gonna. I told him she would look great if she had a spyglass, so he's gonna put a spyglass and might be using that pose. But he's just posting some updates there on the sculpting process. So I'm hoping that we see one of these pretty soon, because that should be pretty cool.
Yeah. And that just makes me think of, can you remember like 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, like it was so out of the range of thought that one person could have an idea and create something on their own without having like a company helping you build the molds and create everything you needed to get your dream made. Like this is somebody from the ground up who's building this amazing thing and working on the art of it.
You're not in your garage, you know, melting down pewter and pouring it into a spin caster. Do you know Rubbish In, Rubbish Out? Viv? On YouTube? He literally did that 10 years ago. I mean, that's how Knights of Dice started.
That's a name I haven't even thought of in like a long time. Yeah, Rubbish In, Rubbish Out. I used to watch all of his videos.
Yeah, Viv is awesome, man. Like, so, you know, we still talk once in a while. He actually sent me some of the original buildings that they were making when Knights of Dice started, and I used that on my Batman set. But Knights of Dice is like, they're killing it right now. They have a set of like carrying cases. They do MDF terrain. They're making miniatures. Like that's a full blown operation, and it was cool.
Awesome.
You know, we're talking about these like startups, and you know, we watched this guy basically literally making, you know, pouring pewter in his garage
Yeah.
And now he's got a full blown, you know, company and everything, and it's just awesome to see stuff like that. So I'm
Yeah,
always
that's
like,
awesome.
I always try to be super supportive of you know, guys that are willing to, you know, invest the time and effort and money up front to try and do
Hmm.
something,
Yeah.
you know, to do something with their passion for the hobby. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I know we looked at the Saga stuff. It's always awesome. It doesn't matter what he could have it on his hobby desk. It still looks great. Still looks great, Phil.
Yep.
Still looks awesome. Okay. This is Eddie, and I think he joined. He kind of stumbled into the stream here a couple of weeks ago, and now he's like full blown participant in the challenge.
All right.
So he's got, as you can see, he's doing a base coating and oil washing on these are cow ships, right? I believe.
Yeah, I
these are
think
cow
so.
ships.
They've got those wider bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. This again. I'm gonna jump into some of this scale work soon. So I'm gonna steal some ideas from this. You know, it's cool to see this type of this painting, because it really is a different strategy, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's not so much about layering up highlights and that kind of thing. Lining is super important. You know, he's got the I think he did these, I think he did the lighting here with airbrush. At least that's what it looks like to me. Like
Hmm.
he did base
Yeah.
coats and a little light effect with the airbrush, and then he went back and did some lining with black liner. And you know, my question is that, I don't know, when do you finish? I don't know when you're done with this scale, because that, to me, that looks done. But I
Right.
don't know if he's done or not. And you know, maybe you do, maybe you have tiny transfers, or you may do a little freehand. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks done to me. What do you think?
I think that's just about done. And with Tau, especially, I think the airbrush to make that subtle shift in the
Mm-hmm.
colors is to make it almost look like they're underwater, or like that they're you know, like when you look at something underwater and the light is shining
Yeah.
from above. The patterning on it is so nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't. It's hard because, like, how do you touch that up? To highlight it, you'd have to go in with a lighter color in your airbrush and try to keep
Mm-hmm.
that subtle color shift while, yeah, you know, I don't know, because the colors look so great right now.
Yeah, I think he's saying all he may do is metal, so he may go back in and
Hmm.
paint some of the larger barrels
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
some other small details, but it looks great. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll have to
yeah.
figure out when I'm done, when I paint that scale. Okay, and then I think, let me see if there's anything else. I think that was it for this side. We're waiting on. I know Kevin is gonna probably in week 4. He'll give us an update on his rubric Marines, and then there were a couple other projects that we didn't see updates for. But
Mm.
overall, looking good, guys. Thank you for your submissions. Keep it going. And yeah, we got one more week, folks. So really excited to see a lot of these projects starting to wrap up. All right.
Yep.
Let's move over to the Warboss Tae Discord, and we'll go to week 3 pictures, starting with an awesome photo. Look at this. Look at that photo.
Hey, who's that? Yeah.
That's so great. Love
2 years
that.
ago, man, crazy.
Yeah, looking
Yep.
sharp, man. Look at that.
Thank you, thank you,
Good
thank you.
photo.
That was right when I was like realizing I had no time to sit down at my desk and paint anymore. And I was like, I got to pull myself away from the hobby, but it's not like I'm, you know, not doing anything. And it's like, well, I kind of want to, I'm coming back into the hobby and sharing
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing creatively. I was like, this is a little snapshot in time from when I was out of it. And I just wanted to give everybody something, you know, silly to
Yeah,
look at, and something positive.
that
Get
was
the day
really nice.
going.
No, that was
Yeah.
inspiring for me too. You know, as this month was also my anniversary, so super
Yeah,
nice.
happy anniversary again
Yeah,
to you and
happy
your lady
anniversary to
boss.
you and the lady boss,
Yeah,
obviously.
thank you, thank you.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, I think that, you know, and everybody was super happy about that. And then, you know, I was like, when do I post miniatures. I want this to stay here for a while. I think I let it sit for like, yeah, okay. And then we'll start putting miniatures up.
It's great.
So we've already seen these. And then, okay, Daniel Sprinkle onto some bolt action. And I've been watching his channel very closely because this is one of, I don't know if it's one of the questions this year where it's, shout out to somebody's project that you've been following or something like that. This would probably be mine. I'm sorry, Dicey. I love you, man, but I love this project as well. So, bolt action. And I know we'll see. I know he updates this because he actually gets a lot more completed as the week goes through.
Right.
Man, I'm afraid that I love bolt action. I need to not.
I know.
Need to not love it.
He makes it sound so easy too. The day that he showed the color recipe, and he just kind of said, "These are basically the colors," and then you hit it with the dip and some matte varnish to drop the color down. It's like, yeah, that's not difficult at all. That's really simple, and the result you get looks amazing. It's like, oh man, I gotta stop myself before I end up with a.
I always gripe about batch painting, but when you batch paint and you've got such a nice tight color scheme like that, and you just see it all put together, that's just really awesome. Man, that just looks fun. Good job, Daniel.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move over to Marshy, working on a couple of Marines. I forget what chapter this is. This is
those are the Astro
30K?
Claws.
Okay.
They're like 35K.
35K.
So eventually,
okay.
they when they're declared traitors and they get thrown into the warp to run away from the Emperor, they become the Red Corsairs.
Mm-hmm.
But at this and then I think a Huron Blackheart is their war band leader. But at this point, they're still like they're just about to turn renegade. They're turning away from the Imperium, and Luft Huron is their chapter master right now. And they're such a great chapter. I always loved this chapter of Space Marines because they turned renegade because they felt the Imperium wasn't giving them the support they needed to hold the line. So they started turning to like cloning and different things to make themselves stronger. And then the Imperium was just like, well, we got to put a stop to this. And then they're saying Imperium sucks and it's fascist and they're putting us down. And they're the way they broke apart from the Imperium wasn't that they found a bunch of chaos stuff. It was more them being like having human emotions being put in this almost impossible situation that they were like bound to fail because they weren't getting the support. I think it's such an interesting story when the mustache twirling chaos gods aren't involved at all in a chapter. turning evil. So
that's cool too. It gives you a little bit of it helps explain that point of view and how betrayal can happen. On a chapter level like that. Super clean paint job, really nice. I like the little detail on the purity seal here. And then the weird thing about this miniature is I know that there's a lot of cool stuff to look at here, but I keep looking at this storm bolter.
Right.
And how much I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah. That honking storm bolter that he just kind of got right there at his side. Yep. And it's hard. Like Marshy, I give you credit because it's hard to do a predominantly silver Space Marine. Like the Iron Hands is more black than with silver bits. The Iron Warriors, which is predominantly silver for chaos, they like to turn to using the yellow and black caution stripes, hazard stripes on their models. But when you don't really have anything, I think it's going to show some art later from one of the Imperial armor books where the model is basically just all silver with a decal on the shoulder. There's no trim to the shoulder pads. There's no real color. So kudos for tackling such
keeping it so clean.
That
is not easy. Like a lot of you may see, this is something that I do. You may see folks that use a lot of shading and a lot of exaggeration. That's actually in one way that's not the best is when we're using it to sort of shortcut really just nice painting, right? It's like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna throw a shade here and I'll do an edge highlight. You won't know how lazy I was, you know, not doing the cleanest job on this. And, you know, obviously there's a style to that as well, but you can really appreciate when somebody just does a really nice clean job like that, and just how difficult that is on a pure silver scheme. So awesome.
Great.
Void Captain, here we go. Doing some kit bash here.
Yeah, those are black shields, and their thing is that they're making their kit lighter by getting rid of some of the heavier, bulkier bits so that they can be faster. And I like how he took that to really modeling these guys to have more of an action pose. You can see he's got his close combat weapons right there. He's got that Bruto chain axe, which is so much more like choppy and killy, I think, than a chain sword, which looks a little bit more like decorative. Like chain axe is for business. That's the business weapon in 40K, and and that short bolt pistol.
See, I always thought it was funny when you mentioned that, like just lightening up to be faster in combat. And I think about World Eaters, and they have those big old Dumbo ears. And I'm like, how are you running full speed with
that is
sails?
Not dynamically correct. And then you think of like, well, Chaos has all those weird helmets, like the Rubric Marines, and then the Night Lords with their Batwing helmets. Right. Oh boy, what the heck?
I know. I'm trying to be nice, folks in the chat, but it always I always ask questions like that. Like, okay, your chapter, you went to Chaos. You're now worshiping a god from the warp. Why does your armor have to get so gold and ornate on all the edges?
Right. Yeah.
With silly stuff like that. But you know, I'm just messing around. I love the pose on this guy. That is so cool. And there's all kinds of little details here that you know, with the knives up front. I think this little I don't know what to call that. It's almost like a sight on his head. I think that was added as well. And then this little bit here, on the mouthpiece. There's lots of cool little detail going on here. Very cool, Mr. Void Captain. Okay, more Marshy, and this is where we're starting to get really awesome.
There he is.
So turning that up a little bit there. Look at the this is not a decal, is it? Or is it?
Oh no, that's from the
okay,
Forge World. Forge World released some limited edition Badab War decals, and those are from the Astro Claws kit. But yeah, it's real nice. That's
nice too. And then I like it when people on Space Marines, especially when they take the time to do the optics right.
Yeah,
that looks cool.
And it looks like he either painted that over black and then cleaned it up, or he's just got really, really precise brushwork. But the lining, it looks like he's got like that black outline around the lenses. That's like the mark of a good quality paint job, because you can see so many Space Marines that somebody just threw some green or red paint on it for the eye lens, and it's just like just a little bit of effort to just clean it up, you know, because that's the focal
little
point.
Extra, right?
Yeah, the helmet, the face of a model is like what you look at, and it's like, oof, it's hard to see eyes like that.
Very, very awesome though. Really liking where this project is going.
Yep.
Nice job, Marshy. The other side of the model there, more decal work. Just super clean. That's really nice. And then and then that's
there's the art.
It's the artwork.
And he mimicked that artwork exactly. Like if you look at the left leg, that's the symbol of the defenders of that little area of space. It's kind of like a black star on a white field. He has that decal on his model on the left leg in the exact same spot. So it looks like he
Yeah,
he
it's right
took
there.
that figure and he built that specific character.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah,
Cool.
good stuff.
All right.
Oh,
More of
every
my
time I
stuff.
see that,
We know my
yeah.
stuff.
Beautiful.
Okay, David Moffat. Am I saying that right? I know he was around. He was floating around. I don't know, but I think he's still trying to get his kids to sleep. Good luck, sir. He may pop in later, but we'll get caught up on his project. These are the old school metal Marines here. So just starting to build up some of the gray there. I just love the good old bulldog looking Marines there.
Yeah.
Terminators. Well, we'll get some better shots there. This is the same shot that was on the other Discord from Dicey.
Yep.
We saw that one. Actually, no, is this different? Yeah, this is a different character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's another that symbol you could see on the left leg there. That's the Huron Black Hearts or Luft Huron's symbol was like a lion's claw in the shape of a star.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that one.
Very cool.
Cool stuff.
It looks like this is a mini video.
I like that Ultramarines painter. I really dig that
that
turntable.
Here we go. Let's go full screen on this guy.
That's
I have
really
a turntable here and I've just never used it.
Yeah, I know. Mine too.
Just covered in dust right now.
Yeah, mine is pretty sad.
Love this. Look at the lining there.
Yeah, I think he needs to change his name from Ultramarines painter to just general Space Marine power armor painter, because all of his Space Marines, this guy, the Ultramarine, the Chaos Space Marine, they all look really good. The Death Guard guy.
See, David Moffat showed up in the chat. You said it right. He fell asleep in my daughter's room. Now I have the imprint of a toy in my side.
Nice.
Yep. Dad markings.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. Good job getting the kids down. My 6-year-old's still awake here, watching Minecraft. Very cool. We're gonna get caught up on more of your updates here, Mr. David Moffat. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting to get in shoulder pads. We're getting faces done.
Yep.
Man,
it's all coming together.
I'm trying to zoom in so that I can see these a little bit better, because there's a lot of work here that I'm not calling out so much. I love that old school librarian.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The old psychic hood there, and then he's got the shields on these guys, the chain fist guys. That's so cool. It just reminds me of the I don't know if you've ever played the old school Space Hulk game, which was more like a first person shooter.
Yeah, and you can only go forward and backward, and then you have to stop and you have to turn in place and then walk forward.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the first time you see a Magus in that game, you're like, oh gosh. That Vegas wants to, and he's like talking trash during that whole level, and you find him and he just blows you up. Man, I love that game. Yeah, the pick ended up. It's not that bad, David. It's a little blurry, but the detail has really shown up really nice. This is nice work, though. Gotta say.
I'm doing
Go
yeah.
Ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, for David's a shout out video, for his appreciation video for the July Painting Challenge, I'm gonna do it. I'm kind of torn between doing a Fluff Hunters video or my take on his color scheme, because he sent me his color recipe, and I took a look at some of his pics from earlier videos where he showed off some finished models that were regular Space Marines and not Terminators. But hey, now that we've got you, David, what would you like? Would you like a Fluff Hunters video where I talk about the history of the Relictors and hopefully get more people to try giving them a go? Or a painting tutorial where I try to do your color scheme there. And just let me know, or text, or chat.
Yeah, well, I'm watching the chat here. I'm sure he'll answer.
Cute.
Or I'll answer for him and say both. You have to do both now. I'm just kidding.
Oh boy. I'm gonna have to jump into the warp for some extra time.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so I just put this up I think yesterday. So now we're getting like the brand new updates here. Oh man, if it wasn't cool enough on the previous ones, this one, that one is, I think Marshy just killed it right there.
Yeah, look at the weathering on the bottom of his leg armor.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Yeah.
I love
that's really cool.
The whole style of this miniature is awesome. So he went from the really clean look on the other Marines, and now this one is definitely like, this guy he's seen some stuff.
Yeah, and that's a part of their history. They don't get resupplied. The Imperium really kind of cut off their support to them, but they were still sending them into battle. So they were just kind of patching up and leaving their equipment kind of as they were, because they would come off the battlefield, they get a little bit of rest, and they get thrown right back in. And their little servitor guys didn't have time to patch or to clean and to fix their equipment. So I like his approach, that you've got some of it that's still parade ready right off the assembly ground that the Marine is trying to keep taking care of, and then you just can't keep up with the amount of wear and tear.
Right. If you look at the knee pads and the shoulder pads, those look like those are in good shape. You look at here, the gloves, you look at the boots. That's where
he's obviously taking care of his weapon.
Clean the visor here. Clean that part. The rest of the helmet's a little beat up there. Man, that is just awesome.
Yep.
That is cool. Does Marshy post any of this on YouTube, or is it just straight? We're just.
I think it's just on the Discord, but I talked to him in the chat the other day. He jumped into the voice chat, and so he kind of talked about his idea and how he writes little character histories for every single one of his Marines. They're not nameless plastic Marines. Like, he has their backstory kind of in his head, and like, I think that's all interesting. That's really like what I feel is like the fluffy, fiction-driven way to collect an army. To have this is like solidly what I want for the theme of my force, and I want to have an idea of what each person is and what kind of people they are, and then like that drives him. That kind of fuels his creativity to paint them to the way that he wants to. And there's some guys that just want it, like, they like a cool army because of the rules, and they don't really care too much, but they'll go with whatever color scheme is the easiest to paint. And the great thing about our hobby is you can do anything. It's really up to you. Yeah.
Okay, we got our answer. We got our answer from David Moffat here. He says, I think the fluff is awesome, but a painting video is probably better.
There you go.
You can talk. Nothing says you can't talk a bit about the fluff while you rock a tutorial. So see, he is trying to go 2 for 1. Good thinking.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, you're right. And it's not like it's a crazy color scheme. Like, there's no color shifting. It's predominantly gray. The interesting thing about the Relictors is they look a lot like Astro Claws in the art, because the art makes their armor look silver, like metallic, but it's really gray. All the fiction or any kind of resource you look at says that the Relictor's armor is gray with black shoulder pads. So okay, cool. I've got it. It's locked in.
All right. Good on you, David, for getting the little bonus 2 for 1 there. Awesome.
I know, man.
Oh, here's this is the other angle. So this is the front facing of that model. Yep. And now you can see the weathering a little bit better on this side. Man, that is just great. Good job,
I did
an
Astro Claws project years ago, and I tried to freehand that lion color on my Terminator's shoulder pads, and it came out a mess. It came out terribly, and I didn't realize like I could fix it by painting silver around and cleaning up the design. I was one of those, go at it once and just leave it where it lies. And I look back at it to this day, and I'm like, oh man, I should have gotten the transfers.
So you earlier you were talking about painting really being, having a course of action where you're constantly fixing and cleaning up, your work. When it comes to freehand,
Yeah.
you watch these freehand, these really talented folks on YouTube they'll do freehand tutorials where
Yeah.
it's like, we're going to show you how to do this awesome freehand. And it's like, okay, get a really sharp brush and thin your paint this way, and then just be good at freehand. that's I don't know, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but that's like usually, like, I'm like, okay, cool, like I really want to get better at freehand, so I'll watch a freehand video. And I love, don't worry, I mean, I love these creators, obviously, and they're
Yeah.
absolutely talented, and I want to be just like them, but it's so hard to convey freehand to where the rest of us can feel like we're doing better, other than to say, yeah, it's going to take practice, or you get these, you got to have these core principles in mind, like, okay, you're going to draw it out a little bit before you go. Like, there's nothing wrong with the advice you're given, but you get to a point where it's like, you could either do that or not do that. And so one of my questions is, are there good strategies for cleaning up freehand when you screw up? Not if you screw up, because we will screw up. We don't see that a lot in these videos, and I think that's something, like, that's a gap as I see it, for for the folks that put out these these excellent, like, tutorial type videos.
Right. Well, I want to do my shout out video to Victor Erickson, because his very first video he mentioned, or one of his first videos, he mentioned wanting to do a freehand lion holding the crossbow, but not really sure how to do it. So I thought that would be a good gift for him. Is I'm going to show you how I would approach doing a freehand lion. And basically, what I would do is, to sum up my entire video that I'm going to produce for him, is I would design what I want, because it's so hard with a flag or anything that you're doing freehand on a miniature, because it's so small. So what I would do first is take a regular 8x10 sheet of paper and a pencil, or if you want, you could even take your brush that you're going to use, or maybe a bigger brush or something, so you get the feel of paint coming off the tip of your instrument. And then I would just quickly sketch out the design that I want to shrink down, so that your fingers and your eyes get an idea for how to hold the brush. Where do the curves come in? How do I shape this freehand design? And then if you want to get even more technical, do it with a pencil. And then, just like how the stars in the sky form constellations, create a constellation of your design. Just black out the points that you want to connect the dots to. Do that first.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because then you see what your frame is. You're not kind of going and then ending up with a design that's wildly all over the place, because you realize you have more room or less room than you thought you had at the beginning. Frame your picture, and then once you have your constellation of points, connect the dots, make the outline. If you realize it's looking too big, or too it's popping out too much in some places, or it looks too drawn in other places, that's where the cleaning up comes in. And if you know what color your surface is underneath, like, I'm going to do a red lion on a yellow field for him. So if I know that my red lion is looking really thick in the butt or whatever, then I'm going to go in with that yellow paint, and then I'm going to clean up so I can fix up the design. And I'm really just cheating, because I'm taking the design that I made that looks too messy and it's too all over the place, and then I'm using the color of the background to tighten the lines and to draw in the figure and to make it look more crisp and detailed. Once you have the design in, I would do corn red paint first, just make one color. Then the trick with freehand, especially on a miniature, is you take your lighter colors and then you highlight the edges, but not the entire outline of your model. What you're highlighting is where the movement is. So with the lion, it would be the claws, or where the belly curves in, or where the slope of his back is, or where the wind would be flowing through the lion's mane. I would just take my lighter color, which would be like a Mephiston red or an orangey red, that would look like it's picking up the light in the thread of the banner as it's waving in the sunlight. And then I would just pick out where it feels like the motion would be, because that's the flag is turning in the breeze, right? So you're looking at it and you're giving the person who's looking at your model the illusion that the flag is flapping in the breeze and the sunlight or whatever it's catching the gold thread or whatever artistic reason you want to make it look like your design is moving along with the miniature. And then after all of that, it's like how they say, how you mentioned the freehand guys just say, just make sure you have a sharp point on your brush and just be good at freehand. It's like it's like you break that down, that one little phrase, be good at freehand, you break that down into block out your outline, make your initial sketch, tighten up that sketch because you're going to mess up and your model's not, your outline isn't going to be perfect. So take the base color, the background color rather, and then clean up the outline. All you want is the outline first. The outline is the most important part because from there you can really play with the highlighting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And that's my long-winded answer. I'm sorry I went on for so long.
No, it's cool. No, this is, like I said, a lot of the folks in the chat are saying that they're super appreciative of the advice.
I just realized, I'm not just realized, but I cannot see anything that's going on in the chat. So anything you guys are saying, I'm sorry if I'm not addressing it. I'm just looking at, on my screen, I don't see anything in the chat.
Yeah, so no worries. I'm relaying that over, but yeah, so that's going to be, that's going to be Victor Erickson's video. Okay,
his shout out video. Yeah.
We could look forward to that. Great. All right. So that was it as far as what's in week 3. I don't know if there was anything else.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything in the? Is there anything interesting? Daily questions is a lot of text. Oh, here we go.
Oh wow.
This is just more marshy, more awesome marshy stuff. Let's look at this. It's his favorite model with the paint that he painted within the last year. Prototype Sons of Forest model. Man, that is just so clean.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder how long does he take on each individual piece, because that is just clean.
It's got some good highlighting, edge highlighting.
Look at that. That's great.
Yeah, it's tricky. Doing Space Marines is like it's a whole skill in itself. It's different from any other painting because you've got the large flat surfaces of the armor. You have to know where those highlights are going to look best when you're picking out the edges, and and if you're going to attempt to blend and do highlighting on the armor, you don't want it to look just slapped on, and you don't want it to look unnatural, like the light is hitting it in an unnatural way. So if you paint Space Marines, or if you don't paint Space Marines, don't don't knock it. It's a skill that it's a good one to have.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it translates into painting like vehicles, like armor, and anything with large flat surfaces that you're going to need to do some edge highlighting on.
Yeah, it's definitely more in line with that type of work than like humanoid skin and skin and flesh painting. That's
cloth and
different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I missing anything? I think that's it for updates.
Yeah, that might be it.
Cool. All right. So yeah, for week 3, it looks like people have been pushing along pretty well here. We're some of us, like I'm in what I call the bonus now. So with the main goal done, now we're just tackling other stuff. There's I've got a Lord of the Rings expansion commission coming in. It's like 30 models, and I'm like, am I going to be able to? I'm wondering if I don't know if I can knock that out in a week, maybe, but I'd have to give up other projects. So I don't know. Maybe that will happen after the challenge part is done. Any comments? Other thoughts on week 3?
Yeah, I just want to say week 3, you can really see in, I think, both of our Discords, some people are starting to drop off And I don't think you should ever be discouraged with a challenge like this, especially one where I'm not sticking to a 31-day exact timeline. You know, I'm saying take as long as you need for your project, and if you need to change the parameters of what success in your project is, then do that. But the main thing I want to say in my challenge for this year is I want you to accomplish something. I want you to paint something, get started building something, finish something that you can look back on and be proud that you did work. Even if it took you a year and you did like one day every other week, however long it works for you, if you spend 31 days in the hobby, wherever those 31 days are, then you can have something that you finished, that you did, that nobody else did. And your model is unique to you and what your vision for it was when you started. And it could be yours to play with or to collect or to keep, or you could sell it or whatever. But I think with our hobby, a lot of us get stuck in the mindset that we want the newest thing that comes out, or the most popular thing that everybody has, and then we collect and we collect and we collect, but we never spend the time to balance out the collecting with the painting or the building or the artistic side of it. So if you feel like, especially, I don't want you to feel discouraged if you're falling behind and you're like, oh man, I haven't posted in days, or I haven't really even painted or done anything in days, and I committed to 31 days and I'm so far behind everyone else. There's no such thing in this project. There's no such thing as far behind, because you're working at your pace and your 31 days are not my 31 days. I'm sticking to the 31 days, and I think you are too, because we're trying to blaze the trail, right? We want people to see this is what it looks like when you do consistently work on a hobby for 31 days. And but I'm saying by no means do I want everyone to follow that. I think everyone to stay sane, and in order for there to be peace in their family in their household, like you cannot work 2 hours on your hobby every single night. Your wife is gonna beat you over the head with a frying pan. Like you have to balance everything, but and you have to do it, what works for you, what makes you a success.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you know, one of the things that that I tell new and interested painters when they're when they have they share a little anxiety about working on projects is, it's similar. I'm like, just finish something. It's okay. Like just get the experience of completing something. So you got the big giant mini that one day you want to work on and you want to spend hundreds of hours on. That's great. That should not be your project out of the gate. But for challenges like this, and whatever you're working on, work on finishing things and trying to keep some momentum in your painting regimen, because that's important. Like just building off of, I finished a model. It may have taken you 2 weeks or a month. It may have taken you the whole challenge to finish a model. That's fine. You have the experience of completing a model. You don't expect that the model you're going to complete is going to be the end all be all, that it's going to be absolutely perfect. In fact, that's the point of painting. Is I don't think I personally don't finish models and say, this is the end of the line for me. I'll never do anything better than this.
Right.
It's always, every time I finish something, it's like, now that I'm looking back, I could have gone and done this better. I could have spent a little bit more time here. I could have maybe approached this with a different color scheme that might have made me a little happier. But instead of lingering in that, you carry that experience and carry that knowledge into the next project, because that's what you're trying to do, is just build. You want to build the momentum of accomplishing goals and hitting milestones and completing your work. And I'll scroll back to it again. It's when you can really hit an endpoint and finish something and put it in front. It doesn't have to be, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be 100 models, right? it can be a squad of 5 Space Marines or something like that. But it's it's getting that that feeling of completion, that you hit a finish line, and that you accomplish something. Just like you were saying, this is unique. It's yours. Like there's no other piece like that. And having that under your belt, that's going to keep you going for a while. You're going to continue to you're going to be hungry for more projects. You're going to want to, and you're going to understand that you're going to get better every time you go out there and you tackle something new. So
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. You're not doing you're never going to be perfect, and you're never going to reach the pinnacle of what perfection is, but trying your best, and maybe not even trying your best, but trying to finish, even if you know you're making some mistakes, but you're not going back every single step and never getting anything done because you're so worried that you're going to make a mistake. That's every time you paint a model, the way I like to look at it is you're taking a brick. That model is a brick, and you're building a tower, right? And brick by brick, you're gonna finish this structure you're building, but you're never gonna do it if you don't finish one model. And some people start these projects and they're like, my commitment is I'm gonna buy a battle force and I'm gonna build it and paint it all in 31 days. And then they realize by day 14 that they're still building, and they lose hope. They get disheartened. They realize I don't have enough time, and I realize I'm working so much, and I have all this family commitment and stuff. And even if it's just building, like basically get to the end of the project and see what it took, and then you can measure yourself against yourself. You don't have to measure yourself against anybody. Don't compare your project with anybody else. As well as Clay Painted did 100 so many models, and he has the same 24 hours in a day that I do, and I'm a failure because I can't even build this box of Space Marines. Like, no, you're measuring your success by measuring it against yourself. And if your goals are too high, if you're too lofty to reach, then change them. There's no you're not competing against anybody in this challenge. Like, there's no grand prize. The grand prize is at the end of the 31 days. You look at what you finished, and that sense of pride and accomplishment, or that hunger, that fire to do even more, that's the prize that you walk away with. So yeah, just do your best, and don't be afraid to change, and just keep that fire lit. And if you need to step away and unplug, then you can do that too.
Another thing that I would point out to you really quick is if you talk to the most experienced painters or some of the best painters that you've ever encountered, ask them, what are you trying to get better at? And everybody's got an answer. I mean, that should tell you that none of this is complete, at least not to us painters that are in it and still working on our craft. It's not about hitting the end.
There is no end.
You're constantly trying to get better at things, or you're trying to work in new techniques into your repertoire. That was one of the best questions in the whole challenge thus far, is like, what is something new that you want to learn? Like, I was like, I want to film like a half-hour video on that, because that's like such a huge thing for painters and hobbyists to always have in mind. Is like, you'll get to a point, you're like, okay, I'm pretty happy with what I'm turning out, but push yourself a little bit harder and go, okay, well, what else can I do? But let's back up a second and I just wanted to give the new folks perspective that that your goals and your desire to get better, that should be constant. That's not, you're not going to hit a point where you feel like you've learned everything and you can do everything. It's part of what makes the hobby so great, and why folks like us stay in it for decades and decades, is because it doesn't end. You're always trying to improve, always trying to get better. So
that's right. That's very well said. All right, my brother, I have got to go.
Yep.
The call of the brush is very very loud right now, so I'm gonna try to get some painting done on my own. But it was
Cool.
great talking to you. Thank you for this
Yeah.
weekly checkup. I think it's awesome. Our Discords kind of do this team up. It's a Avengers Endgame team up. I think it's really cool. We kind of get everybody together
It's
and
the
see what we're all
crossover.
doing. Yeah, it's the crossover of the century. All right, man. You have a good
Awesome.
one, and a big aloha to all of your to your Discord and to your local community. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll talk soon. Cool.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All righty. Am I? Wait. How do I? All right, guys. I'm gonna hang out and paint for a little bit. So we'll 1 second here. Let me just. Yeah. I guess we're just gonna do it that way. Yeah, there we go. We'll just do it that way, so that that way the Warboss is gonna get back to painting, and I will get back to. We'll do a little bit of painting and a little bit of Q&A if you guys have anything you want to discuss. Overall, man, just super happy about the participation that we have, and hopefully, you know, when we do these updates, I know for me personally, I always get a little fired up and like, okay, you know, for me, I got another week to go, and like I want to finish strong, right? We're in the bonus rounds. David Moffat calling out, yeah, thank you, sir. You know, crushing the initial goal. So now we're on to bonus rounds, and you know, being able to paint stuff like this is fun stuff for me. Like I really like being able to work on like the big single pieces every now and then when I've completed a larger project with a lot of models. So super fun. We're just working on some detail work on Ivy here. Gonna get some of this some of the vine work on her legs in. I may have jumped the gun just slightly because I'm not 100% sure I'm done with her skin. Her skin probably needs a little bit more of a green tinge to it, but what I'll do is I'll work that in with a little bit of a wash. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. I walked away with, you know, from that with a lot of additional insight, particularly on things that I'm bad at, like freehand. I know I'm bad at freehand. I want to continue to push myself to attempt more freehand and to identify other areas where I'm lacking, and how do I get better at that kind of stuff. Freehand definitely being one of them. I would also say for me, also sometimes just for me, it's sometimes just sticking to very clean paint styles without. I was making fun of myself earlier about going in and just like shading and highlighting just to a level of insanity, almost as an attempt to disguise like sloppy painting in the middle. You know what I mean? Those folks that can do the really clean painting, there's a lot of value in that. And you know, that's just an area where I want to get better. I'm feeling the need to sleep. We're off to camp in the Badlands tomorrow. These update shows are really great. Can't wait to have it. All right, have a good night, David. Thanks for joining us. Have fun in the Badlands. That sounds super fun. You know, don't go Mad Max on us unless you want to. What am I saying? Of course you want do a Mad Max photo for us. That would be cool to see. And the other thing too, David, is I know we sometimes overlap in our streams. We're streaming at the same time. Let me know what we can do. Like maybe we can team up on. We've been talking about this for a little bit. We could team up and do a co-stream. Now that it looks like you may have figured out what can be done on your end with OBS, I'm down, man. We'll do that. two chats is always a bit of a challenge. It's something that me and Dicey kind of juggle sometimes, is the two chats. And we've even have some of our viewers will jump from one chat to the other chat just to keep it interesting. But for sure it's feasible and it's going to be a lot of fun. So cool. Thanks for joining. But yeah, I'm really energized by that update. It's always super fun to hang out with Warboss Tae, and he's just a really, really good artist, and he's very inspiring, very energetic. And I really like some of the advice he gave about just, just making sure your goals are scoped properly, and that they're attainable, and that they're gonna work with your, we'll call it painting / real life balance that we all try to maintain here. Okay, do we all can we all agree that we love Ivy? Oh, I love Ivy. Love Ivy. I gotta find. I have a painted, like an old school Ivy that's on a 30 mil that I want to use for just generic Batman crews. I gotta find that, what I did with that model though, because it is a fun model. I may actually break it out and give it a quick touch up, like give it a more modern paint job. Let me see if I can find that model. But I do love me some Ivy. Look at that. It's looking pretty good. Just needs the ever so slight tint there. I like that she's got a little bit of warmth in her skin, but if I'm gonna follow closer to the studio art, she should have a little bit more green in her skin. Me personally, if this is my model, I'm going the other way. I'm pushing, this is all gonna be regular, bright, warm skin tone, because that's gonna, to me, that would contrast, and this is what I was saying before we started the review, that would contrast so nicely against the rest of this model. My opinion, you guys tell me if you feel any different, but my opinion is I would really push the skin tones and make her look, more like that, more like the classic, the 60s Poison Ivy, where it's not so much green skin, but like warm, bright skin. I think that would be cool. You guys tell me what you think. Yeah, we'll just do a little bit of painting here, just to kind of wrap this up. There's still a lot of detail work to be done on Frank, so I'll have to knock that out tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of work on that Revelations War game. I built some of those models, and we should be able to knock those out pretty quick because they're small scale. And then either one of two things is going to happen. I'll either pick up Nelson's Lord of the Rings commission, which I most likely will do that, but I may stop. I might actually stop and do some work on my Watchmen, because I'm really looking forward to it. I want to play. I mean, honestly, I want to play Watchmen. If I get a game Friday, I'd like to play a game with Watchmen. What do you guys think? Can we get Sean, if you're around, could we get a game, play some Watchmen? Maybe Nelson. How are the model? I don't know. I haven't even broke it out yet. I have not touched any of that stuff yet because I've been working on this here. See, I like that. I don't know. You guys tell me. I like that skin tone where it's at. Looks really nice. It's like super warm. I like it. I don't know if maybe Chris will be cool with it. I think it looks good. Let's do a little bit of shading here. Let's see. Lincoln March is down for now. Cool. Yeah, man. We could play some Court of Owls versus Watchmen if I can get some Watchmen done this week. So we're gonna do this Basilicanum Gray on the rock here. Also kind of the lower parts of the model. Right? I want that because obviously you want the lighter parts there right where she's at in the centerpiece of the model. I think she just, again, see how it's not her her sculpt, I mean her paint job is not as green as the studio art, because I feel like the studio art, she almost blends in too much with the rest of the model, and I feel like it's a disservice to the sculpt. I may have to get myself this sculpt because I want to paint this. I want to take a different approach to this. Like I was saying, make the plant darker and make her skin brighter, so that she like really pops against the background. I really would prefer to have that. Even if it looks like she's just like a pinup girl just sitting up against a giant plant, I would rather have that. Because I think it makes for a better centerpiece. This is a very good centerpiece, don't get me wrong, but I just feel that contrast is needed. There's so much green on the model already. The other option, I guess, I could have gone is like I could have gone very, very dark green on everything up here, and then just, had a really bright centerpiece there with her. I mean, this is already looking pretty good. Ooh, may have overdone the Basilicanum Gray on that flower. Let's see. Pull that out. Pull out some of that gray, and then I'll come back in, give it a quick highlight just to clean that up. Okay. Let's see. I need to get Riddler out of the way before my other stuff comes. What did you get? So you got Riddler. What was the other one you got? What, you bought another set? I know. I don't recall. What was it, Matt? Did you get? Shoot, what was the other set you were looking at? It's super retro to me, and you love the. Yeah, I love this classic costume, but I don't know. The green skin is cool, but I think it blends her in too much with the background. Like, I really want her to be front and center, like, as far as, what you're drawn to. It's like, you should really be like, bam, right there. And then here, if you see the box art, and don't get me, again, I'm nowhere near the level of the box art. Well, let me see if I have it. I still have it bookmarked. Maybe I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Let me share the box art here real quick. Here we go. All right. So I'm sharing that real quick. And it's cool. But do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. There's really nice lighting on it, but you see how it's all the same palette as everything else in here? Matt, you're the artist. You tell me if I'm just completely full of shit, man. Just tell me if I'm wrong. But I look at this and go, my eye is really drawn. Honestly, my eye is drawn here on the petals because the petals are super bright. They're highlighted really well. You see how the light's actually kind of drawing you in this way, which is cool. But it's like look at her face, like she's in the shade. She's in the shadow. And so I don't want to go that way. I want to go super bright. This looks like it was done with oils, by the way. I don't know if I'm right, but if I'm looking at this blending here and here, that looks like oils. Here, this looks like oils. Anyways, you guys tell me. Am I just full of it? Used to all the animated series colors, which is fine. I mean, did you guys see my did you see my, oh, maybe I can't reach it. No, it's buried under crap. Dang it. I have a new 52 Poison Ivy that I painted a while back, and I was like thoroughly disappointed with new 52 Ivy. It's such a great, as a character, she has such a great design. But some of the color choices just don't get me. The brighter skin looks better and contrasts the green better. Thank you, sir. All right. I feel validated. Ha. I got compliments from Warboss Tae and Matt in the same night. That's right. I'm the big winner, folks. I win. No, yeah. So I think this is going to do I think Chris will be happy with that because it's very close to the studio art. It's a little warmer, but you see what I'm saying. If I'm painting this for myself, like this is just going to be bam, like bright, rosy color skin. Still going to have the green bodysuit because that's super sexy. It's still going to have the bright hair as well, but you still want to you should be see how she pops. Look at how right? You can totally see her there. And then, contrast that here. Again, way more talented painter involved there. Way more talented painter. Of course. But it's my eye's not, she's not standing out. My eye's not drawn there. So anyway. Yeah, so I'm liking this. Let's do a little more color here. Let's play around with some of these. There's lots of little splashes of color because again, I'm pretty sure they did an oil paint. There's weird tongue lash things coming out here. Yeah, Matt, you're around Friday, right? Come on, Wayne. I know you're. Oh no, you're not. You're going out of town. Okay, this Friday, no go for you. But we will definitely get it together, dude. Maybe, who knows? Maybe this Friday, maybe I go pay Bing a visit and teach him this game and infect another player. Get another person involved in Batman. Maybe. We should, man. You know what I'm saying though. I know Matt agrees with me too. We're just trying to we just want to get some cool people playing some of these games. Could be this game, could be Arstea, could be Malfo. That's fine. Those are all fine. Those are all good choices, right? We would be down with any of that. But right now, the target is Batman. Want to play some Batman? Want to get Kevin to play? Let's get Kevin to play. We gotta get Nelson. We gotta get. I know he only gets to play like twice a year, but I know he's down. Ah, Sean may have work. Ah, that sucks. Okay, no worries, dude. Yeah, maybe I'll pay Bing a visit on Friday. Teach him some of the ways of the Batman. Could get Regan. Regan's looking for a Guild Ball game. If I have time to play both, I could play a game of Guild Ball and a game of Batman. Could happen. I like what they did with the. Remember I was saying like just using some of the lighting to help draw you around the flower. I like what they did there. Yeah, Aaron, we need to get a big. Yes, that's the spirit, Matt. We need to get a big meta going. We certainly do. That's the goal. I mean, we game at a comic book store. Why wouldn't we have Batman as a big game at a comic book store? Especially with the number of staff that loves Batman in that store. And, you know, Don loves to carry Batman in that store. It makes sense. He's got to update what he's selling, though, unfortunately. Like, the metal kit is not a good thing right now. All right, a little red here. Let's move over to Audrey 2. You know, one of the things I need to do with Audrey 2 before the night gets too late is, I thought it was up here. I need gloss varnish, not gloss medium. Gloss medium is awesome and it's useful for a lot of cool stuff, but I need gloss varnish, folks. Please. I don't know if Aaron would play Batman. I'll ask him. He's been a little too busy to game with us, period. So I can ask though. This is the part of the show where I cannot find my gloss varnish because I don't use my gloss varnish all the time. Oh snap, I have a whole other bottle of glaze medium? What? That's pretty dope. But where's my gloss varnish, man? Where is it? Frank is the dopest model. Frank is pretty awesome. I don't know if you can readily get Frank. I think Frank may have been a limited run model. Gotta ask Chris if that's true or not. You know, I usually keep a couple of bottles of gloss medium because when you need gloss medium, nothing else will do. Just what did I do with my 2 bottles? I literally have a whole drawer full of matte medium and plastic putty. There's another matte medium. There's another plastic putty. There's another plastic putty. Where is the gloss medium? Oh my God, I picked up another bottle with plastic putty. Glaze medium. Holy crud. This is literally a drawer of that's thinner medium. Are you, that's also thinner. Are you serious, guys? Holy crud. Wow. If the apocalypse hits, I will never run out of plastic putty. That's for sure. Oh, man. You have to get them in the box with poison ivy. Oh, cool. Well, I do like that poison ivy, and I do like Frank. Maybe it'll be a future buy for me. Man, this is very upsetting. All right. Okay, slight change of plans. I guess we'll just do it this way. That's crazy though. Wait, no, you know what? Hold on, I haven't given up yet. I know I have this sucker somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna give up. Fine, you win, universe. Stupid universe. Stupid laws of me losing things. That's just nuts, man. How do I not have that? Ugh. Okay. All right. Plan B. It's not quite what I wanted to do, but it's gonna have to deal for now. Okay. So on Frank here, obviously I want to have some gloss. I want the eyes to look really glossy. So I'm just gonna build using glaze medium. I'm just gonna build sheen that way, and I'm gonna use it on his tongue as well. Right. And the unfortunate problem with doing it this way is you need lots and lots and lots of layers to do that right. Let's do a little bit of Gilliman flesh here on these guys, right? Just so that they look like they were alive once. And you got all the like partially digested cast there of Little Shop of Horrors. And then I also need to do the pot. So let's break out some terracotta. So yeah, one more week left in the challenge, and I want to finish strong. I want to have a bunch of projects painted at the end of this, and I want to be proud of my work. So there are certain, you're not going to be proud of everything. You're not going to, it's not going to be all amazing out of the gate, but there's going to be certain minis like Aphrodite or maybe this model where I'm like, yeah, I put in the extra time on that model, made sure it looked really nice. So just painting in the broken pot here. Feed me. Oh man, Frank is so cool. So Matt's back with Riddler and Owls. Sean's playing Owls. I'm going to play, for right now, it looks like I want to play League and Watchmen. I may break down and get the new League set just to get that other Talia. Because the comic, the other, like the green robe Talia is super cool. Look at this, feed me. Where's that cool moth green? Like hair in that. Here we go. A little bit of moth green. We're gonna highlight these super slimy parts. See how Frank here has partially digested people with his green slime. All right. Yeah, we're just cooking, people. Doing pretty well. Couple other colors to go in here. Where can we find cops, man? It's a touchy subject, Sean. We don't want to talk politics tonight. I know what you're talking about. I'm just making a joke. All right, so a little bit of yellow there. Feed me. Let's get some browns. Yeah, if you find my joke in poor taste, yeah, I don't care. All right, we're just gonna move on. Okay. There. Well, so we're just getting like different colors down so that we're getting all those little details in, and that's really all that's going on here. So if I'm going fast and not explaining myself, sorry. We're just doing basically the cleanup stuff, the cleanup painting, guys. But I have been having a blast with this challenge, just for being able to work on some cool projects and whatnot. And let's face it, I was, full disclosure, I when the lockdown, right around the time that the lockdown started, I was having a severe itch to paint more Batman minis. And Chris had explained to me that 3rd edition came out. And I was like, well, let's look at 3rd edition while we're in lockdown. And I did a little bit of reading on it. And said, okay, it looks really interesting. I want to try it. So it worked out okay. Let's get a little bit of gray, but different gray. This gray. I'm just trying to add different colors to this before. Here we go. Okay, and then I always use a little bit of basilicanum gray just to darken up the bottom. Yeah, Frank is pretty awesome. That's all we need to know. Frank is pretty awesome. So just a little bit of shadow. No shadow here. Okay. No shadow there. And then let's give this thing, let's give these some highlights here. Right. Make us proud here of Frank. Anyone have any questions, comments? Again, I hope everybody's enjoying the challenge. I don't really care, you know, if you're falling behind or whatever. Just enjoy the challenge because it's super fun. All right. Look at that. Pretty happy. All right. Pretty happy with that, dude. Pretty happy with this too. Let's get a little bit of, I want a little bit of highlight here too. This teeny little highlight in there. Okay. And there's not much else to do here. Just knock out a little more green up here. It's pretty simple. Now let's do the part that we're talking about. Frames the whole mini. I'm going to try to do the Revelations War minis. I'm going to try to do them all one night, which shouldn't be that bad. They're super small scale, and the color schemes are pretty simple, like military style color schemes. All right. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So seal all these up, and yeah, tomorrow night, I'm not planning on streaming tomorrow night. It's just gonna be, like I said, little Revelations War stuff. I may, well, we'll see. We'll just see how the evening looks tomorrow night as to whether or not I decide to stream. All right. Okay, cool. All right. And then for good measure, I'm gonna hit this with a second little bit of glaze. Here, here, and here. And just wrap that up, man. So yeah, not bad for tonight. We're gonna wrap up the Birds of Prey commission, and that was super fun. A lot of good models in that mix. It's a crew that I'm interested in collecting at some point, and being able to paint this one here on commission has already given me some ideas of what I would want to do to change mine, make mine look different, because I don't want to put mine across the board from Chris's and then not be able to tell whose model is who. So I'll change mine slightly, but yeah, that's what we're looking at, guys. Well, Ivy and Frank. So it's getting late. I got to get up and go to work early in the morning, so I'm going to call the stream here. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.